Very, very tough thing to get. And according to some Republican senators and all the Democrats, it's going to be even tougher if this bill passes.
Well, that's right. And it'll be tough just to get a vote passed this week. That ends up being the question is, would Mitch McConnell move ahead, even knowing that he's got 5 senators who right now say they'll vote no on the bill as written. You got another 5, potentially even more, who say they have real concerns with this bill. And the tension now of if you give something to, say, the Tea Party wing of the party, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, each say they will vote no on this bill because it doesn't go far enough to repeal Obamacare, do you alienate even more moderate Republicans who already say they have their concerns with sort of the social safety net here?
Walk us through some of the issues on both sides of this debate, and in particular on both sides of the Republican debate. You were talking about how difficult it is to get those 5 senators because you take away from one to give to another.
Well, that's right. And the crucial thing here is the sweeping cuts to Medicaid that this would end up having. Now, Kellyanne Conway from the White House told ABC yesterday that these cuts that have been estimated to be about $800 billion over the course of the bill aren't actually cuts because essentially it's taking us back to pre-Obamacare days. But I think that would be a hard sell to a lot of people currently partaking in Medicaid expansion. So you've got people like Dean Heller, Susan Collins, Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia saying we need this money, that our states took this Medicaid money and have really done things with it to help the people of our state, and we can't get rid of it without a better plan in place. Then you have people like Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, who say the Medicaid cuts are really the only thing that this bill does, that it doesn't actually go far enough in taking back the other parts of the Affordable Care Act, of getting rid of all the individual mandates that are part of that bill, of these sort of large-scale changes to the insurance market that they say need to be completely sort of started from scratch. They say nothing's being done. They say this is still going to be Obamacare light. And so while 4 of the senators who are hard-nosed right now are in that Tea Party wing, you've got Dean Heller, the one Nevada senator, who says, he's more of a moderate, and you've got a whole bunch of these other moderate Republican senators who are frankly very nervous right now, and they're not saying one way or the other what they're going to do.
What does Senate Majority Leader McConnell have planned for this week in order to get this passed?
Well, first of all, you might have a voter-rama, as it's called, near the end of the week. And that could be sort of a bailout option for some of these moderate Republicans. They could end up voting yes after, say, getting an amendment passed. If Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia comes out and says, I know this Medicaid pill is going to be tough to swallow, but I did just get a $40 billion opioid package passed as part of my amendment here. Look how much better I made the bill. That could be sort of the way that she sells this to the people of her state. So you could see a lot of amendments. There's room for things like that later this week. Mitch McConnell, though, saying that, even if people are going to vote no, he wants them on the record. He's willing to sort of, give people some pressure around the collarbone area and let them know that they need to decide one way or the other this week.
That pressure, are they feeling it from the people or are they feeling it from their own party and the president? In other words, there are certain states where this will be devastating. West Virginia, Ohio, certain states that, as you noted, did take advantage of an increase in Medicaid and therefore are insuring people that will be dumped from the rolls. So these senators, are they more concerned about their constituents or blowback from the party and the president?
Well, right now I think it's party leadership and President Trump. Remember, Dean Heller came out swiftly against this bill. Within a few hours, he was being told that a pro-Trump super PAC was prepared to spend $1 million against him in his upcoming primary campaign. So that's an immediate problem. However, after July 4th, that's when everyone's going home for their recesses, and that's when they start hearing from their constituents. So then the problem shifts from not being one of Mitch McConnell giving you dirty looks. Now it's thousands upon thousands of constituents. So that is what Mitch McConnell is hoping to avoid here and get all this voting done before people go home, and to hopefully have this entire framework in place, have all the coordination with the House, have all that done by August when there's an extended break, and that is usually when people hold these, several town halls at a time.
One of the big factors in determining the impact of healthcare, this new healthcare bill, will be the Congressional Budget Office scoring. We expect that this week?
Yeah, we expect it later today, perhaps. It could come either today or tomorrow. We're told early this week by the CBO. And of course, that could the score could change with certain amendments if we see those later this week. But the big numbers as to, how many people are going to remain insured at the end of a few years, at the end of 10 years, those will be crucial numbers to keep track of. Remember that, you saw a little bit of wiggle room over the course of the life of the House bill, but at the end of the day, it was still more than 10 million people losing their insurance, within the next few years. 18 million people losing their insurance at the end of a longer time period. It really was a large number here, and if those numbers are anywhere close with today's CBO score, you're going to get a lot of pushback from people in that moderate wing of the party.
30 seconds here, Brad. The two bills, can they be reconciled?
That is another question. I think at this point, a lot of Republicans are saying, let's leave that for another day, man. Because these bills are so different and they go in such different directions. Like I was saying, there are such sweeping cuts to Medicaid specifically in this bill, yet in the House bill, it goes on to touch a lot of other parts of the Affordable Care Act. This was a sticking point for a lot of members of the House Freedom Caucus and things like that. It's difficult to say if they would actually come on board with this bill that senators say they started from scratch.
Very busy week ahead of us. Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you, Jay.
Brad Milkey, ABC News correspondent from New York, talking healthcare. It is 6:28, 53 degrees. Jay Kanzler,